So, right, go on then. We'll do a post-match reaction now. I think we delayed it enough. We can chop it from here. So, Burnley 0, Chelsea 3. Johnny Tate, give us your post-match reaction.
First, you've got to remember the team that we've played in Chelsea and that they're a good attacking team. They've got good players. So you don't want to, you know what I mean? We shouldn't be turning teams like this over. But it's all right getting beat as long as you put in some kind of performance. Like, you know, when we got beat against Spurs, we got beat and you think, you know what? We actually tried and it was unlucky. We just didn't have that clear chance and one slight drop off in concentration has cost us. But today, it were like a polar opposite to the Spurs game. It were absolutely dreadful. We didn't create anything. We hadn't had one shot on target at all. We haven't created absolutely anything. All the goals have been dog shit. I mean, Westwood trying to ping a fucking 30-yard pass diagonal, gets cut out, 3 passes back of the net. We just don't look like we can score. I think I asked you now when last time we scored, the first game of the season against Leicester. And it's just fucking dreadful. Absolutely fucking dreadful. And you can't change it because everything is like. Stevens, I've had a rant about him. I'm not going to keep going. He's a fucking passenger. Absolutely pointless. Fucking pointless. He brings nothing to the party. Fucking nothing. Brownhill out wide is a fucking disgrace. As soon as he starts out wide, you just rule him out the game. It's fucking because then when he gets brought back into the middle, he can't create anything because they've already set up their midfield and they're fucking settled in. It's just the manner in where we're playing. It's just so fucking lackluster. It's fucking terrible. But you've got to remember, Chelsea are a good team, but you've got to get at them. You've got to put in a good performance, and we just didn't do that. It was fucking shocking. It was shit.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think you've got to look at Chelsea. It looked like a good Chelsea. They managed the game well. They basically took advantage of our errors, which is probably the hardest thing to take from this game, is that it was our errors that led to most of their opportunities. The goals that they scored, other than that, there was no real sort of like Nick Pope, or what a save, or what a block. There was nothing really in that. Long play, all right as well. So it's hard to criticise the defence, even though it was a 3-0 win to Chelsea. But I think it goes back to me, to the comment that you made, when was the last time we scored? And I never really sort of looked at it that way. So if the last 2 games, I've seen the comments of, the defence has done their job, it's up to us now to do our job up the top of the pitch. So it's being spoken about on the pitch. It's not something that we're just dissecting here. And a lot of the Clarets fans are sort of agreeing that things need to change, and they all seem to be the same mindset. Jay Rodriguez needs to play. Who comes off is the next question. I don't know who you guys think. Who do you think should be coming off the pitch? Because it's all right saying Jay Rod on, but someone's got to come off. Gudmundsson's injured today. We had zero creativity today. Like you said, Stevens is a passenger. Stevens didn't do what his job is. His job's there to break up play. Let Westy have a bit more freedom with the ball, but he ain't doing it, mate. So should Brady have been the half-time substitution? I know everyone wants J Rod on, but should that have been the immediate swap? Should it not have been Brady and put him out wide rather than J Rod on and having 3 up front? Have we just played into their hands there and given up almost?
So like I said to you, I think in the second half, I said, the way we've never, ever, ever been a good footballing team under Dash. We're a good, solid unit. We set up from the back, and I say we're solid, and we stay in games. When we're down 1-0 against Chelsea, we're in the game, and you think, you know what, we're going to get some out of this because we're battling, and it's fucking high press and high intensity. Not necessarily good on the ball. Like I said, I think the Everton away is the only time where we've actually passed the ball round for a good period of time and scored a very good team goal. But we've just lost that. We've completely lost that this season. It's just nowhere near. We're pressing, but we're not doing anything with the press. We're just running around like headless chickens. We've just lost the complete solidity of the team. Is Ben Mee a big part of that? At the beginning, I think a couple of games ago, I said, no, I don't think he's that much of a miss, but he has to be. Is Ben Mee the one that's, controls? Is he the one that, do we underestimate how much he controls that team when they're out on the pitch? I think you've got to look at that. Obviously, when he comes back, time will tell. But if we're relying on Ben Mee to make sure that we're more solid and to be more and bring up the rest of the players in, then it just shows how much we rely on certain people. And then, like I said, the Stevens, the fucking a million. We're getting players from Brighton. We should be getting, with more sustainable than Brighton in the Premier League. We should be now not looking at Brighton's fucking cast-offs and trying to improve our starting 11. We're fucking going backwards.
We do miss Burnley, and I think it's a ripple effect of him not being there, because players that show solid, all this solidity at the back, for example, Nick Port has got errors in him this season, errors that we've never really thought about before. He looks lacking in confidence, and for a man who just got his England call up, who's just played at Wembley, he should be on top of the world right now. He should be picking balls out the air, saying, I'm England's number one at the minute. And the things that he does naturally aren't quite happening. Is that because he needs a Ben Mee in front of him, like you just mentioned there? I do think that maybe J-Rod should play, but for me, the chances are created from the midfield for the strikers. We've never had strikers at 2 or 3, and I mentioned it in the podcast. I mentioned it the other week. We don't expect Chris Wood to take 2 on and score. We expect Chris Wood to get a delivery, which we expect him to take at the opportunity. And the opportunities weren't there this game. The only one opportunity was Ashley Barnes. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but let me know what you think. But for me, the creativity is not coming from midfield. And I put this comment up. Probably 70% of our passes are sideways and backwards. It looks like our players want to go forward, hesitate, and any opportunity is lost, so they go backwards and sideways. And that all boils down to confidence. Let's be honest.
I think it's a mixture of things, isn't it? Like, the positivity that were around, like all Burnley fans after that Tottenham game. Don't get me wrong, I didn't really expect to get out of that game, but you'd expected more of a performance than that. And it's a mixture of 1, poor recruitment, 2, it's fucking dinosaur football. It's fucking boring. How many times I say it, and you and Joe always say, "Oh no, it's fucking boring. I don't want to watch that every single fucking week. It's shit. It's boring." Wood and Barnes, they've had their time now. I love Wood, I love Barnes, but they were all right 2 years ago. They don't fucking have the same fucking presence to do. Centre half used to go like like centre halves. They say, "Oh, up against Wood and Barnes, it's gonna be a fucking difficult afternoon." That's the Thiago Silva. They're not fucking bothered about Wood and Barnes. They're not scared of Wood and Barnes. They fucking come up miles better players than they do. We need a fucking good overall, because the players we've got on the bench can't change it. I mean, Goodmanson, you might as well fucking write him off. Everyone gets excited when he comes back into the team. What does he bring to the party? He don't bring anything. What does he bring? I know you're a big fan of Goodmanson, and yeah, he's been alright, but he's fucking hasn't set the world alight. He's always injured. Fucking being knocked at the party. Brady, I fucking love Brady. I think he's an unbelievable player. But you need to get rid. He's fucking gone now. He's his time. He's not fit. So them two, fucking waste of space. Stevens, pointless. And then where do you work? Westwood and Brown at Cork. He's not going to get back in this team because you're not going to want him back. McNeil don't look like he can get off. Vidra, pointless having him because he's not going to get played. Then you look at the bench, you can't change anything. You need to fucking have, I think we need 7 players, at least.
Yeah. Joe Shilling said Wood out for him, J-Rod in. I think we all agree J-Rod's coming in, but it's a debate at the minute who's going out.
It's got to be Wood and J-Rod. If you're playing the up top, it has to be Wood and J-Rod.
I agree with that. And then Graham Verso with a great comment. It may be boring, but you will not complaining when we were winning.
That's exactly what I said. I said that about 20 minutes ago. When we finished 7th, we didn't fucking play that well, but you go along with it.
Complain.
I don't think you can't complain when you're getting results and you're doing it. But it's fucking boring. And when it's not going well like this season, I mean, look at some of the teams you've played. Chelsea, Spurs, yeah, you can write them off. But the Southampton game were fucking dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. We're not fucking playing. If anyone tells me they want to watch that type of performance week in, week out and finish 4th from bottom, don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah, Joey Shilling with a good comment. To be fair, we are forgetting a little bit about Jack Court. His name's not being mentioned that much, but is he the big miss in there? Shoot it all you want, but the midfield isn't as strong without him. Now, Brownhill came in and he slotted in and he did a good job, but he hasn't been here long enough to sort of make a concrete decision on is that his place. He was always going to be fighting for me against Jack Cork for that position. Is this sort of your rotatory time where you would be putting Jack Cork in and saying, let's get some momentum back in this? That's my question for you, Jonny. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Is Jack Cork the man to save the day? No.
No, is Jack Cork the man that you would throw in now and sort of hope to get that consistency back?
No, I don't think so. Because I don't think when Westwood and Brownhill in midfield, I don't think that's his problem. The problem we've got is we don't have anyone on the right because you can't rely on Goodmanson. So you can just write him out. He's not going to be there. So you have to find a system now where you don't have a right midfielder.
We've got one comment that says, "Look, lads, so I presume there's a big rank coming. So better get that get ready for that one." That's Graham Verso.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're not all going to agree, and we're not all going to agree on it. And like I said, we've played Chelsea, we've played a good team, and we've got beat. That's fine. I said we're going to get beat 4-0, but it's about the manner of the performance. We had one shot on target against Storm. We don't like creating anything, and that'll be. I know exactly what that comment's going to be. Look, lads, do you remember the Orient game?
You know what? I'm 34. It's not my fault I wasn't born early enough to witness.
Well, what do you, Simon? Seriously, honestly, now I know everyone thinks I just have the rant, but genuinely, what do you think to that? What do you think to that game? Seriously, honestly,
it weren't good enough. But it's a game that, like I said about the Spurs game, that if it was in the middle of the season and then we were in 1 point out of now 6 games, we wouldn't be looking too deep into it. It's because I know the manner of the defeat was a bit shit today, and I agree with that. But for me, it starts at midfield, and for the lack of creativity, they are going to score goals against you, Chelsea. It's 4 last year, and we finished. Look at how well we finished last year. We scored 4 against us last year. This is what I'm saying. If this position wasn't as it is now, and we played Chelsea, we would look at it with different eyes. That's my opinion.
Look at the bounce that we had at the back end of last season. We were fucking buzzing back in the last season. And then there were good folks coming out that Dash has been fucking hung out to dry. I don't care what anyone says. They've had this fucking thing all over, celebrating his 8 years. I tell you what, celebrate his 8 years and his achievements, but I fucking backing the man. Yeah. He's been absolutely hung out to dry as Dash. It's an absolute fucking disgrace, that transfer window.
I don't think Kieran Phillips is in at the minute, but he did mention earlier that we need to stop blaming the board, and Dash needs to take responsibility. He's the one putting the 11 out there.
But he can only put out the players that he's got. You're not telling me Dash wants that squad. Yeah. He's wanting to add to it, if he could. You fucking give the man a little bit of fucking respect for what he's done for this club. Fucking back him.
Scott agrees with you. Well said, been hung out to dry. Joe Shillings put, I love Dash, but the type of squad he comes out is beyond predictable. It's boring, and I honestly cannot see it improving without quite hefty chunk of dosh being involved, invested into the club, i.e. the takeover. But the problem is, we ain't got enough people to sort of bring in January. We won't have enough money. You still have to play by the fair play rules. You can't just say, right, well, there's 200 million to spend, lads, because we've got loads of money now. You still have to play by the fair play rules. So there will be a budget that was in what we bring in and what we spend out. So that's number one problem for me. Number two problem.
I'm listening to you.
Yeah, number two problem for me is we can't have. Dash will not have it where we all of a sudden get 4 players in and they go straight into the squad. That ain't going to happen either. Dash will not say, right, fair enough, we've got 4 brilliant players, let's put them straight in the squad. He'll make them work like he does with everybody else. And then thirdly, he's not going to buy big players. He ain't going to go in and say, right, we need a Danny Welbeck up front, or we need He's not going to do that. He's going to go straight into the championship.
Why is he not going to do that, though? We don't know, because he hasn't been given the opportunity.
Yeah, but I agree with you to a degree, but there are a lot of players over the years that we've had that haven't worked. There are opportunities to sign freebies this year that haven't even been looked at. It's not like we're saying, oh, it didn't work out, or he didn't want to come here, or anything. We're not even looking at him. Where's Deeney? I'm not saying I want Deeney. I'm just saying like they're the kind of players that you'd expect to Burnley to be listed with. I'm not even hearing about
it. Nah. You don't. Deeney's not going to do anything that Barnes and Wood and them. He's not going to do. He's not going to do anything that they've done. Do you know what I mean?
Irrelevant. The name. The name is irrelevant. I don't mean to point names at a certain player, but what I'm saying is the players that have been available on the list better than Deeney. Welbeck were free. Players that have gone like Klein, Lallana. You mentioned all these people that have gone and moved. What's his name? He's gone to Blackburn. Is it Elliott? Liverpool. The other lad from that we didn't get from Liverpool. There's a lot of players here. Wilson. There's just not happening for whatever reason, and it's all right saying it's the board, but these ones didn't involve a transfer fee. The ones that I'm listening, I'm on about. Will Dash get the players? You ask me. How do I know that he won't play him? I don't know, but I'm just going off what I can see.
Yeah, I get that, but you've got to give him the opportunity. Fucking let him go out and fucking. Have we ever had where Dash has spent money on, like decent money on that, have players in one go? We book his transfer thing every window. Do you know what I mean? We've never had a spree. We've always got like one player here, one player there. But when your squad's coming, it's an aging squad. I mean, what's the average age of that squad? 30?
I don't know. Yeah, go guess 28.
I mean, look at Chelsea's squad. Again, totally different money, totally different ball game. They've got a massive academy, and you can get loads of players out of that. I understand that, but it's a young attacking squad that's free flowing. I mean, the centre halves. Silva's probably the oldest player there, but what we got? We're not a team that's going to have players coming through an academy like you like to Southampton used to do. They didn't go out and spend big money. They had a good academy where players come through. They don't seem to play them. I mean, I think I've seen a comment on Twitter. If McNeil wasn't from the academy, would he be playing? And I think that's harsh because he's a good player. But we need to fucking back him, give him the funding. But then, obviously, with this takeover, people are now saying, "Oh no, we don't want them to put the money in." Well, who do you want to fucking? We're not going to get a fucking Burnley fan who loves Burnley and does all that and puts 500 million into Burnley. It's never going to happen. Any team that gets bought out, there's some dodgy shenanigans going on. Kroenke at Arsenal, they don't like him. He's dodgy. The fucking Pawn brothers at West Ham, dodgy. United's owners, dodgy. Liverpool's owner, fucking dodgy. I don't care what you say. He's trying to separate Liverpool from the rest of the Premier League. They're all fucking dodgy, but when they start winning stuff, they're not bothered. United fans hate the board, but how much have they spent?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. Your investment, you're not. If you're a businessman and you've got £500 million, you're not telling me you're clean cut 100%. You've got to have a bit of grit about you, and you've got to have a little bit of fucking dodginess.
Yeah. Graham Verso's finally finished that comment. Each season is quality in the league, and the league gets better. And unfortunately, we stood still. I doubt throwing, say 10-15 million, will help too much. It's kind of going back to what I said. Yeah,
agree.
Back to what. We haven't even looked at the free transfer market. And Dash used to do so many goods on the free. Scott Arfield, Dave Jones. Did we even try and approach any free signings? I don't know. I don't have a clue, mate. I'm just having a rant like the rest of us. Dante.
I think the free signings has slightly changed over the years, though, because the reason they're a free signing, it's
$100,000 a week.
They're on big wages, but you have to pay them a substantial signing on bonus. Whereas your likes of winning the Championship with Arfield and Heath, you're not going to pay them. What their fucking signing on fee be? $500,000 maximum for a player like that to sign for Burnley at the time. We just got. I'm not being funny. We got massively lucky with your likes of Arfield on a free and Heaton. When we signed Heaton, we just been relegated with Bristol City, and he was unbelievable.
On the bench.
An absolute unbelievable signing on a free. And I think it's all right winning the Championship.
I think David James was number one at the time.
In the Championship, you can pick up them like free transfers for next to nothing. They can turn into big signings. In the Premier League, I mean, Danny Welbeck free signing. You're going to be paying $5 million or something, and then you're going to be paying him 80 odd grand. Is Danny Welbeck worth that to Burnley? No, I don't think so.
No. It's a difficult one, mate. Everybody in the comments would pick a different 11. If you could go on the free transfer market and pick an 11, there won't be many that have the same 11. I'll tell you that. It's all a game of opinions, isn't it? Paul Yates, poor performance today. Let's regroup, refresh, crack on. I think we've got to kind of end it on that mentality, really, rather than trying to get too negative about it. Are we going to get the sort of investment that's going to propel us to the top eight? Probably not. I think at the minute we're that far behind that the reason they're calling it Project Big Picture is because they realise that we need to invest just to make us a Premier League club again because of the sort of lack of foundations beneath the first 11. I think it's called Project Big Picture because they might even consider that this is a club that might have to go down to come back up, in my opinion.
It's like what they're saying, it's 200 million. They've said they're going to buy it for. A lot of fans seem to think that, that's what Darcy's got 200 million to spend. He don't have 200 million to spend if they buy it for 200 million.
No, then they've probably get what they've got left.
They'll probably, if they put 200 million, no more than fucking 50. If Darsh got, but that'd be unbelievable. If Darsh got 50 million to spend, it'd be unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen, is it?
No. No, I think, like I said, I'll kind of let you go because I know you got your family and stuff. But
fuck them.
Fuck 'em. I think if this game and the Spurs game was in the middle of the season and we were already on 20 points, we would look at it completely differently. I just think the fact that we've been shambles from the start of the season, we're not scoring goals, is what's making everyone panic.
Yeah,
to summarise my opinion.
You react different. I react like most people do when they're on the turf. You know what I mean? You fucking everything's shit. He's shit. They're shit. And then after a couple of beers at pub afterwards, you're like, well, yeah, it weren't that bad. It's just fucking frustrating. I just can't see it getting any better. We don't have the players, in my opinion, to make it fucking any better. I mean, Brighton away. We're looking at Brighton, the next game away, thinking, fucking hell, that's a tough game. We might not get out of it. When you start thinking like that against teams like Brighton, the writing's on the wall, in my opinion.
Yep, I 100% agree with that. Laura's enjoying it. She said that's the spirit, JT. We're getting the JT back. Yeah, thanks very much, guys. If you could do us all a favour, anyone who has got some more comments, or Joey Schilling, for example, who was the other one that was quite vocal, Danny Aston, Graham Verso, even Laura, get your comments in. You're all quite active in the comments box. Do us a favour. If you can, if you feel confident enough to do it, 30-second video, get in touch with TurfCast, send us a direct message. We'll tell you how to send the video in. It only needs to be 30 seconds. Sort of imagine you're on the way home on the coach from the away day. How would you feel? How would you want to speak about it? What do you think needs to change? What squad would you pick for the next game? And how do you fancy our chances against Brighton? But yeah, thanks very much, Jonny.
Cheers, bud. It's been a pleasure as always.
Oh, I think we smashed it, mate. We made a fucking 3-0 game entertaining for a lot of people. I'm going to end the broadcast there, but I'll speak to you in one sec, Jonny.
All right. See you later.